Another big change is currently being undergone for Path of Titans, but you probably don't know what it is, unless you've already seen the video thumbnail and title. In that case you do. Today I'm talking about what this change is, what it means for the game, and of course showing it off, and talking about what else we could in theory see from this change as well in the future. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, let's talk about what this change is, because Path of Titans are aiming to rebuild the ambient life in the game, to make them more fitting to prehistoric animals or the prehistoric time frame. After all, this is a dinosaur game. And a lot of the ambient life in the game at the moment is actually, especially the water life, is based on real animals like the arapaima and the green sea turtle or the kelp shark that are currently in the game. Those are all pretty much modern day creatures, still alive today. And that's what the developers are aiming to change. They're starting off with the fish, and this will be what gets the special treatment, and that we have seen get the special treatment as well. Essentially, the developers went to Instagram to say this: "We are working on replacing the modern day fish found in Path of Titans with creatures more relevant to the prehistoric time period. The first one that we have completed is the Dipnoranchus, coming soon to the waters of Gondwar." So really, what does this mean for Path of Titans? I want to quickly mention this because essentially it just means they're beginning to overhaul all the wildlife in the game that is based on a modern day creature. So as I've said, the manta rays, the kelp sharks, stuff that are based off creatures that are alive today are going to be removed, and that means they're going to be moving back to prehistoric creatures that fit the time frame that the game is essentially set in. And as people suggested, we could maybe see a Gar in the future, because that's something that was prehistoric as well, and people really want to see that in the game. And that kind of ties into what I want to talk about at the end of this video, some suggestions for prehistoric creatures we could see in this overhaul. But first, let me showcase this big fish to you. Here it is. Here is the fish. I'm just going to show it right now. This is Dipnoranchus, and I definitely mispronounce it, but this is what they showcased on Instagram, and it showcases the model and the swimming animation. The model is nicely put together, if I'm honest. It's a very nice little model, very nicely detailed. It's actually more detailed than the other ambient life in terms of fish that they have in the game. However, of course, this is the first one completed. New model and combined with nice animations as well, and as the developers have said, this will be populating the waterways of Gondwar and will be the first of many new fish species to come to the game. So now let's really quickly talk about what fish species we could see and some suggestions. These are mainly suggestions, it's all theory. None of what I'm talking about next is confirmed, so bear that in mind. Now, this is more opinion. However, I've got a couple creatures or aquatic life that I want to talk about and what I think should be added into the game with this overhaul. So the first one is Marsonia, which is a massive fish, a coelacanth type fish, and personally I think this would fit really well as a brand new addition to those really deep depths in the game. You know, much like how the coelacanth that's alive today lives in deep water, if we get this guy to populate the depths of the ocean, the ravines, the deep dark corners where there's nothing, it would be a very, very nice addition to the game and will just make that area feel a lot more lively. And also, I feel like that area should be more lively, get some thermal vents and stuff like that down there so we can have some, you know, life to populate that area. The next one is Gars, and this one people commented in swaves about the Gars and wanting Gars in the game, and they're relatively large fish. However, they also have ancestors or relatives to the Gars which lived alongside the dinosaurs. There's a reason why the alligator Gar itself is called a living dinosaur, because technically its ancestors lived alongside the dinosaurs, which is still a decently sized fish and would introduce the alligator Gars nicely. But now we move into the sharks, because there are two things I would love to see with sharks when they eventually get their touch-ups, because at the moment we have the kelp shark, it just swims around with its open mouth and that's literally it. However, I think sharks should be switched into two different groups: passive sharks and aggressive sharks. Of course, the passive ones, they just swim away from you if you swim near them. The aggressive ones, territorial AI that will try and kill you. Literally, that's all you need. and that will be really cool. For the passive shark, I think Stephacanthus will be a great addition. This is an extremely unique prehistoric shark because its dorsal fin looks like that of an anvil, which is, while it's really small, I do think the devs will probably upsize it because, let's be honest, they've upsized a lot of creatures, like the recently released Achillobator. Have you seen how big that thing is? And also, I think if we don't stress about upsizing, we could have something else, like Scapanarhynchus, which is a goblin shark, technically. It's kind of like a goblin shark, with an upper estimate to be around 3 meters long, which is kind of similar to that of the kelp shark in the game. For an aggressive shark, I think Cratoxyrhina would be a good AI, an aggressive, territorial shark that will hunt babies to have in the game. I think that would be really cool. This lived in the late Cretaceous, or in the Cretaceous, and is a beast that comes up to 7 meters long. And fun fact, there's some remains of mosasaurs that have been found with teeth of Cratoxyrhina embedded in them. So this thing was aggressive, and I actually do think people are trying to mod this into the game as well. It'd just be nice to see an AI shark that would try and kill people in the game too. And finally, another thing that will probably get changed is the turtle AI. At the moment, we do have, I believe, a river turtle that is Basilemes, and that is prehistoric, so we don't need to touch that. However, we also have the green sea turtle, or the green turtle, in the game as well, and that one needs to be replaced. And now I have 2 suggestions here, a big one and a small one. Archelon is massive, and that would be the big one. Essentially, it'd serve as an AI turtle that would be quite hard for little baby dinosaurs or aquatics to eat because they're so strong, so it wouldn't be prey for those little guys. They won't be able to kill it. Big guys, big aquatics, mosasaurs, all that will be able to kill it, although it will take a little bit of fighting to be able to properly kill it as it swims away. The other one isn't exactly a turtle. It's prehistoric and comes from the Triassic, and it is a turtle-like placodont. This is Henodus. I like this little guy because it comes from a book that I read quite a bit, or used to read, and here it is right here. If you can see, it's this one. This is Henodus, a little turtle geezer. If you want to know what this book is, it's this one. And it's pretty cool. So anyways, Henodus will be pretty cool. It lived in the shallow lagoon-like waters, and it would be a nice snack for smaller aquatics that would be living in those shallow lagoon-like waters. Let me know your thoughts about this all in the comments down below. I really want to know, what other fish do you predict will be added to the game? Anyways, if you want to check out another video, I recommend you check out this mod showcase video that showcased a new bunch of mods that are coming. The Absentia Acrocanthosaurus, Majungasaurus, and a whole bunch more. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.